Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to
Ed
SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the live show we do every day at 10:30 Eastern Time, where I give my picks. Matty, guys, I don't know if you caught how my picks did yesterday, but it was not a good day.
Whoa, I did.
Although, okay. I mean, you know, I mean, the low-hanging fruit was that Tillman would get hit, and he did.
True.
But it's just the bullpen came in, shut him out. You know, that's how baseball is. There were a bunch of times when Cleveland was threatening and they didn't pull it out. Then I had Arizona, which is probably a bad pick. A couple other okay picks, but
I don't think Arizona was a bad pick. I mean, look, it didn't come through, but
Jesus Christ. And I'll admit this, I was I thought I was going to have a good day, so I was like secretly planning out my jokes on what I would do if like I swept or cashed almost all of them, and then look what happened. Pride goeth before the fucking fall, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Pride goeth before the fall. Shout out to our friends at Intertops, friend of the show. Thanks, Intertops. Apparently they like the show. I can't imagine why. You know what I'm saying? Can't imagine why. All right, so
look, it can't be like this every day, Pete.
Can't be like this every day.
It's not like this every day.
It's okay. Not like this every day.
J2K was already spending his winnings too. What's up, Guan? Good morning.
Low-hanging fruit was almost a winner yesterday. Can't believe it. Can't believe that they that they hit Tillman, and but that's why, you know, the books are sharp. They didn't put the team total at 5; they put it at 6. You know,
we talked about that.
Yes, we did talk about that
because he was at 5.5 for a bit. Brief bit.
Unbelievable. What else was interesting from yesterday? Oh, Chris Sale, of course, does get the win. Boston does get the win as a big road favorite. I stayed off of that one.
Yes.
Houston continues to cash. That was one of my winners. I had them on the second half, and again, they they cashed on the full game. Houston is just a beast on the road, no matter who they're up against, no matter what the pitching matchup is. So that's a probably I should just be flat betting Houston on the road, and then I'd be okay. The Yankees, actually, I mentioned, I actually did bet the Angels when it got up to like plus 220 or something like that. Didn't have the balls to give it in the show, but line was just, it just didn't make sense why it would be that high for me. To me, and in fact, that was the case. Tampa Bay was a nice winner. Garrett did struggle a little bit. Oh yeah, and then the other one was Atlanta. Maybe I should have taken the first 5. I don't know, but someone knew. It was looking great most of the way, and then the bullpen imploded. Someone knew. I don't know. How did they know that Atlanta's bullpen was going to? I did actually check the bullpen usage, and it was a sort of a down day for Atlanta, but still. At that line, I still would have taken Atlanta. Maybe it was still the right side. Very interesting, and and then my call on Pittsburgh to do well against Milwaukee in the series has been good. But again, I got too cute. I took the second half, and they lost that one yesterday. I did I did talk about that series with Drew Martin, and I told him that I like Pittsburgh in this series, and he was a little bit not understanding why I felt that way, but it has certainly turned out to be the case. All right, so. Let's get to the So to sum up, shout out to Intertops. Shitty day yesterday. I gotta just keep pushing forward, right?
Yeah.
Pushing forward is what I'm gonna do.
I mean, it'd be really weak show if you didn't. We would already be done today.
That would.
It'd be this, and then we talk about whatever weird YouTube shit we were watching last night, and then we'd go.
Yeah. So let's get to some of the comments. Yeah, Joe Morawski says Lindor for getting picked off second base in the first inning. Yeah, did you see that happen?
I did not see that.
Okay, so yeah, in the first inning when they were getting to Tillman, Lindor got picked off from second base, and of course then Encarnacion wound up hitting a home run later. So if he just not gotten picked off, then you'd have at least a push there, but then it would have been a tie game, so then you would have had extra innings, and maybe the run line would have cashed, maybe they would have scored another run, which would have been a winner. This is how baseball goes, right? It's a game of inches, what they say, and it's so true. A game of inches.
A loose Scott hit the salami yesterday.
Yes, loose cunt hit the salami yesterday. Very nice loose cunt. Jim Bean, some people saying, Hako Schofield says Astros low-hanging fruit. Yeah, maybe the Astros low-hanging fruit every day. I have mentioned that in all sports, it can be sometimes a wise decision to handicap just a team on the whole season and say, I'm just going to bet this team or this pitcher or against this team or against this pitcher just blindly. And if you're right about that, then you don't have to look at every day and be like, do I want him today? Do I not want him? You just take him blindly, and then you would have him even with Martez against Gray or whatever. And yeah, if you were doing that, obviously with Colorado, some people were very high on Colorado in general to start the year. If you've done that, they're up 30%. In terms of ROI, and if you've done that with Houston, obviously a lot of people were high on Houston to start the year. They're up almost 20%. All right, so let me see. Let's see. Oh God, the comments are supportive but negative. Supportive but negative. Jim Bean says yesterday was a nightmare. Let's move on and forget about it.
Yeah, everybody seems to have been on that same. I mean, there was a lot of weird games yesterday.
Paco Schofield says, got to make it up today. Yeah, thanks for all the supportive comments. Ernest Huffman said, I had a good day. Good for you, Ernest Huffman. Nice, nice. Ernest Huffman said, I had Minnesota yesterday. Okay. I don't know if, right, Minnesota. Yeah, I had Chicago on the second half. That one was a push. Yeah, let's see. Let me just look for some comments here.
I don't know, Juan. Why is the Berrios line so
Seth
high?
Berry says, I'm betting first 5 innings only for the rest of the fucking season. Yeah, the thing about betting first 5 innings is that you do pay more juice than betting the full game. So that is basically the main issue with that. But yeah, first 5 innings can be a great bet. Be a little bit careful with that, but definitely can be a great bet. You are paying a little bit more juice for sure. Okay.
What was that? We had a recommendation yesterday that during your awkward pauses that you, as you point them out, I don't think anybody else notices, but we could play some music.
Yeah, I was thinking about that's actually a good idea, but then I started to realize, it's 2017, everyone's copywriting everything. If we start playing like Ariana Grande music, we'll get sued and the channel will get shut down. We can't play copyrighted music. We could make up our own.
We have a very talented musician sitting right next to me.
Yes.
Who may or may not know Ariana Grande. So I'm sure that he can play them for us.
No, I mean, what we could do is just write our own fucking music. Write our own song.
Why don't we could just play like Don't Tell Me Bro and then the song.
Yeah, I'll write a song called I'm Looking at Comments Right Now. That's what the song's called. There you go.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I mean, what was the genius of Motown? It was all very simple lyrics. It was like, you broke up with me and now I'm hurt.
Well, but then the three of us would have to stand in front of the camera and do synchronized dancing. That's what really made that interesting.
Yeah.
There you go. Guan Zhou can write us a song. Holy shit. You just blew my mind.
There you go. That's the commission a piece from Wang Zhou, like the Austrian royalty used to commission music from Mozart and from the court composers. We shall commission a song from Wang Zhou, just the lyrics. It'll be like Elton John and that guy Bernie Taupin, right?
Yes.
We'll be the Elton John and he'll be the Bernie Taupin. He will need to compose the lyric. When we call it like that, we call it the lyric. We don't call it lyrics. When you're doing a highfalutin, we will commission Wang Zhou to compose the lyric for a bunch of songs for us.
Yes,
great. Or what we really could do, if he refuses, is we could just turn his comments into songs.
That's also a possibility. See, now we're thinking. I like this creativity.
Now we're rolling
here. It bodes well for your picks today, I think.
Hako Schofield says, Pete the Two-Headed Monster. All right, yeah, let's... Spartan King of Texas says, Ariana Grande. No, why? I don't know. She's the first one who
apparently she would be here
because she's so goddamn... And above that...
Is she playing or is she on vacation? Or are you just stalking her?
Ariana Grande is playing a concert next week.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. She is.
Are we going? Is any of us going?
Seth Berry says Ariana Grande is so goddamn hot. She really is. I feel like a pedophile looking at her though. What? Why? She's fucking 23. Or how old is she? Yeah, exactly.
Is she the one? I don't know who it is.
A pedophile. Trust me, she's been bending over all kinds of ways for like 8 years, taking it all kinds of ways. Trust. You're not a pedophile. She ain't no kid. All right. She's a full-grown adult, Ariana Grande. All right. Trust me on that one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nothing wrong with it. I mean, people should enjoy their, enjoy life in all ways that it's meant to be enjoyed. I'm just saying, she ain't no kid, all right? An adult. All right, so D says, way off topic. Let's get to the picks. Yes, all right. So let's get to the picks. Part of the reason why we are, as Funny Bone says, Pete, let's get the game previews going. Yep, you're right. Look, obviously, I'm embarrassed.
No idea.
What?
Guys are so serious sometimes.
Well, it's just that I'm a little bit embarrassed and frustrated by my lack of accurate picking. Although again, the analysis hasn't been that off. It's just the picks haven't.
No, it wasn't.
Out. All right, so let's get to the games. First game is that in the overnight. I filled in for Drew Martin. I did the overnight show. I did the opening line show with him yesterday, and I predicted that Cleveland. They were minus 150 there. Cleveland. They're all laughing at comments here. Cleveland.
Rich fans just say, "Here comes Chris Hansen."
No, right, yeah. Cleveland, I predicted that line would close, at 160 at least, maybe higher, and that certainly has come to pass. It is now up to a minus 160 at Pinnacle, minus 170 at the Chris books. So, the point of the overnight line show is to beat the line moves, and we've certainly beaten it as of this morning, although as we've seen many, many times in my own personal picks even, beating the line move does not guarantee anything in any way. But and Gossman's a tricky one because he's not quite on the level of Chris Tillman right now. He needs to start throwing his splitter more. That's his best pitch, but there's definitely something wrong with him. The bullpen, I think, favors Cleveland here. I did bet Cleveland on the opening line when it was at -150, and that could count as a low-hanging fruit play today. It was definitely a pick that I bet. God, all right. Baltimore's so good at home, though. Carrasco is good, but can get hit. I would be leaning over, and I would be leaning Cleveland on the -1 line. And once again, my totals plays in general in baseball are pretty good right now. You know what I'll do? I'll take the full game over on this one, 9.5 -115. Full game over, 9.5 -115, and I will also throw on Cleveland -1. I might get burned two ways, but whatever. I did bet this one on the opener. I got -150. Now I will have to take -160, which is a pinnacle line, and then the run line part for Cleveland will be will be +102 at pinnacle. So small road favorite line there. I cashed big with them on the first game. Yesterday was arguably handicapped correctly, but wound up with a loser, and then today I'm going to take him again. Two ways, fade of Gossman. All right, and once again, it might be that Cleveland on the first 5 is the way to go. But again, if you want to take Cleveland on the first 5, you're looking at a line of, all right, well, -160 is not that. Intertop says -160, actually. A bunch of places have 160. So, possibly Cleveland on the first 5 innings might actually be a better play. But I'm going to take him on the -1 line. I'm not going to take him 3 ways, and I guess I'd prefer the -1 to the first 5 innings. All right. Another game that I highlighted yesterday with Drew Martin in the opening lines show. I should be a regular on that show, because one thing, I'm not good at picking winning picks, but I am good at predicting where the lines are going to move. And I also identified Seattle as a line that I liked and that I thought was going to move. And when we did the show, it was in the -120s. Now it's all the way up to -140. Big question here is Paxton. What is up with Paxton? Obviously, he was awesome before he went on the DL. Since he's come off the DL, he has definitely been struggling in a pretty major way. Now, if you look at his mechanics and his velocity numbers and his release point and all that, it seems like he's okay, basically. So there are no below the surface, in-depth fundamental reasons to think that there is something wrong with him, as opposed to other guys who have problems with their release point, who are having their top pitch isn't working, stuff like that. So I suggested that Seattle was a good bet. I did hit it on the opening line. I got it at -127, I think, and now it's all the way up to about -140. It's mostly a fade of Verlander and a prayer that Paxton will be okay. And I also told Drew Martin that I was leaning towards the over on that in that game, and Drew Martin agreed with that one. And I was also suggesting that maybe a shot with Seattle team total over those 4.5 +110. So those are my leans on that one: Seattle -1 and the over 8.5. And I did pick both of those in the contest, which might mean that both of them are more likely to lose than not. Possibly.
Your optimism is so refreshing.
Yeah. Listen. Yesterday I was just like, I was preparing jokes for my sweep, for my 10-0 sweep yesterday, and I wound up going 3 and mother effing 7. All right, so how do I want to handle this Seattle game? I kind of like the over. I kind of like Seattle -1, although the line has moved significantly since I bet it. I'll take both of them. What the hell? Take Seattle -1. The run line part of that, again, will be a -1. The money line part will be -139 at the Greek and Pinnacle, and the run line part of that will be +155 at Intertops, actually, at Intertops and the Greek, and 5 dimes also. So +155 will be the run line part of that. The money line part of that will be -139, so a small plus money line there for Seattle. And then the total is headed down a little bit. Pinnacle actually has 8.5 +102 on the over. I guess I should give that one, really, in case Paxton gets hit. You know what I mean? Paxton gets hit, which very possibly might happen. I will give that one over 8.5 +102. Detroit and Seattle as a pick there. Okay. So those are 4 picks. Other news is that it is not Bartolo Colon Day. It was going to be, but then he got switched in with this guy Newcomb. And this guy Newcomb, because there was no overnight line, I didn't look into this game deeply, but Newcomb has some seriously nasty stuff. He has obviously, like a lot of guys with nasty stuff, control and command issues. And when he has control and command issues, things don't go so well for him. But when he's on, he has some nasty stuff. And now you're getting Atlanta as a home dog once again. Samardzija is has been pitching very, very well. So maybe a shot with the under, or maybe a shot with the first 5 innings under might be worth something. 5 is kind of a high total there. If Newcomb is on his game, it's going to be hard for San Francisco to put up any runs. But that's an interesting game for sure. And then the other game that I don't remember if this one. Oh, I think it was one of the games. Another game that I identified with Drew Martin yesterday, I think, was the Angels and the Yankees. And I said that I liked the Yankees. When we talked about it, it was minus 170. Now it's all the way up to minus 200. So I did bet that one as well. And again, the opening line shows. If you watch that one, if you catch that one, those shows come out immediately right after we shoot them because they're live shows. So, and those lines are still very much up right after we do those shows, So you can check those opening line shows, and you will probably have a lot of losing picks that beat the closing line for sure, just like me. And the Yankees, you
too,
yeah,
can be.
You too,
almost a winner.
Yeah, exactly. You too can feel arrogant about your losing picks.
That's good. I mean, that's a tough look to pull off.
Yeah, you too can have
arrogance in the face of failure.
Yes, you too can have a shitty ROI, but then do something like this and say, well, what really matters is beating the closing line, and all of my bets yesterday beat the closing line. So in fact, I had a wonderful day with my picks and my bets. And you can this right here is one of those, like, I'm an arrogant asshole move, right? You do this with your hands. So yeah. The Yankees, again, I bet it at minus 170. I discussed it on the opening line show with Drew Martin, and now it's all the way up to minus 200. Now, Montgomery is a guy who I'm kind of high on. He has some nice stuff. He's been getting some nice results. Nolasco, obviously, is a guy who's like mediocre at best, maybe subpar at best. Not incapable of throwing a good start, though. I think 2 starts ago he held Houston down. I believe he went into Houston and through 7 innings, got a bunch of strikeouts, held them to just 2 runs. Feels like this is a big spot for a big bounce back by the Yankees. I did bet him on the minus 1 line when the line was at minus 170. Now it's up to minus 200. I don't know, Matty. Should I give it even at minus 200? I mean, the run line part is minus. No. Yeah,
you see my head already.
Yeah, I mean. I was not on the Yankees yesterday, and I did actually wind up betting the Angels when it got up to something ridiculous, like 230 or something. Today, though, I did bet the minus 1 line at minus 170. Now, if I want to take the minus 1 line, even just the money line, the run line part is like minus 115. So the overall line on that would be like 160 or something. I don't even know for the minus 1 line. So yes, let's see. Seth Berry. Wait a minute. Whose metrics are stupid? Who's talking about?
I don't know, but I do like this.
He's probably not talking about me.
The one above it, 55.
Oh, Samardzija. Okay, he's talking about Jeff Samardzija then. All right.
55.6% of the Blue Jays. It was that comment right above the one you were just reading.
Of the Blue Jays runs have been home runs. I believe that's first in that. Well, first of all, home runs league wide are going up. Second of all, I'd like to see what the league average would be on that one. That's an interesting.
It's an interesting. Yeah, it is
interesting.
It seems high, but I don't know.
It would be. I mean. Most runs come from home runs, That's why league-wide people have tried to hit more of them, and they've been successful at it. So, okay. So, let me see. What do I want to do about this freaking Yankees game? I would love to take a shot with the Yankees team total over, but again, it's 6. You know what? I guess I'm going to have to hold off on it because Nolasco can be good. The Yankees crush righties, though, and Nolasco's a vulnerable righty, and Montgomery is a guy with some big upside who I'm generally pretty high on. All right, I'll leave that one as a lean. I'll think about it and maybe add it on later. Other games that are interesting today that I did bet. This might be a little bit. KC I think is the team with the highest under trend of home games, but I did take the over 9.5. In this one on the overnight line. It is gotten bet up a little bit to about 10 in some places. Ian Kennedy's coming off a good start. I'm not a buyer on him going forward. Pomerantz can be good usually, but in this spot, I think he might be a little bit more vulnerable. So maybe the Boston team total over is the way to go. Let me just quickly check what that is. Boston team total over. So I'm just getting a flashback to people who were making all our jokes, and they were like, all right, get to the games. Yeah, very, very good point. Very good point.
Guangzhou.
And I want you to know,
New York Yankees suck right now.
The New York Yankees suck right now.
With 8 exclamation points.
Guangzhou. See, there's a song right there. NYY suck right now with 8 exclamation points. I could write a lyric. I could write a song right now.
I feel
about
like
that
we lived
that
song.
Guangzhou. I don't know if you caught the beginning of this show, but what we want to do is we need music for the times when there's dead air here, and we are going to we have a lot of very talented musicians here in the office, and what we want to do is put your words to music. So Guangzhou. If you would be so kind as to compose some lyrics for us, we will put them to music and record them and play that music in the background while there is dead air.
The theme song of the show.
Yes, we can make the theme song of the show. The theme song of the show.
It's low on my to-do list, but it is on it.
Yes, the theme song of the show. And if Guangzhou could compose something, perhaps the subject might be mustaches. He has a lot of
mustaches.
Yeah, I know he has a lot of things to say about mustaches. All right. Let's get back to the Guangzhou says Tiger is bad too. Yes, Tiger is definitely bad too. All right, let's see what I want to do here. The Boston team total over 5 minus 125 is very, very tempting. I did bet the full game over on this one. Let me just check.
All right, Jim.
What?
Jim said, "Give me a shirt, and I'll like you."
Okay.
All right. I was looking to give away one today anyway. You got it. Jim Dean.
All right.
See how he says, folks.
All right, I'm going to give the Boston team total over 5 minus 125 today. Boston team total over 5 minus 125. And also the full game over 9.5 is a lean. I might wind up giving that one as well, but as of right now, it's just going to be a lean. I'm just a little bit afraid of Pomeranz having a great start, which is always possible. But yeah, you know what? I'm also going to throw on the full game over 9.5 minus 105. What the hell? Who cares? What? I like it. I bet it.
Like anybody's watching.
I like it. I bet it. Who cares? All right. Other games that are interesting are once again the Pittsburgh-Milwaukee game. I've been on Pittsburgh, and once again, I think I'm liking Pittsburgh here as well. Full game, second half to hit Garrett a little bit. Again, I'm going to have to call the Miller Park roof hotline to find out if the roof is closed or open.
That is so cool, by the way.
What?
I was thinking about that yesterday afterwards. He's told me.
Yeah.
Like, of all the hotlines one can call, that seems very interesting to me.
I call it every day. You've reached the Miller Park Roof Hotline. Tonight, they are playing the Pittsburgh Pirates at 7 p.m. The roof is expected to be open for tonight's game. I love the Miller Park Roof Hotline. It's just this little oasis of peace for 15 seconds of my day every day, and I get the information. And so yeah, I'm definitely leaning Pittsburgh here.
Let's do it, AC.
Let me see. I would be leaning, and I would also be leaning over in this one. And you know what? I will. I'll give the over on that one as well. Who cares? Over 9.5 minus 105. Williams is a very
throw
vulnerable.
Caution to the wind.
Yeah, throw caution to the wind. Throw caution to the wind. I'm just concerned because if the roof is open, I'm not going to be liking that one nearly as much. Let me just check one thing very quickly. Yeah, if the I'm hoping that the, what happened? What?
That's an aggressive congratulations for a T-shirt.
Yeah. All right, so AC says, I'm going to start bragging and being outlandish. Seems to work for Jim in the Bag. Is Jim in the Bag having a good year?
Jimmy the Bag is top 10, I think, right now in our betting contest.
No shit.
Yeah, he's a boss.
No shit. What kinds of a picks are he? How the hell does he do it?
Don't know. I can't see other people's picks. I know the ones he gives out like 2-3 team baseball parlays. And just chips away. Like he's not. I think he comes about, when he has a good day, $800 a day. I think he's been up a few grand for the past couple
But in
weeks.
the contest, what kinds of picks does he give?
I don't know. Can we review other picks?
Yes, you can. I'll look into that. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
Jimmy the Bag.
Tomorrow, maybe I'll just call him and ask him while we're on the show.
All right, so I will take Pittsburgh and Milwaukee over 9.5 as another official pick. That's going to be over 9.5 minus 105. It is also Barrios Day, and he has been great, but I just don't think I can take Minnesota. I mean, they've been terrible at home. The line is now in the minus 190s, and as good as he is, I cannot take Minnesota here, although if someone wanted to suggest that was a good play, I certainly wouldn't argue against them. White Sox are terrible against righties, and Barrios is legitimately excellent right now, and I think can be relied on to have a good game here. So and I'd probably lean White Sox second half again. Let me check what that line would be. Right now, I'm going to guess it's like 105 or plus 100. Plus 120. Wow. The thing is, Barrios might have a complete game because he can really deal.
Yes, he can ball.
he can really deal. He tends not to go that deep. I mean, not to have complete games. He tends to go like 7 innings, but he is all right. Wang Joe asking about the hanging fruit. I'm not sure if there's anything that's hanging fruit today, except for, I guess, low hanging fruit would be, you know what? I'll put Cleveland -1 as a low hanging fruit. I just think they're a better lineup. Gossman's hittable. Carrasco should be okay. I think Cleveland has the pen edge here. So yeah, I'll put that one. Cleveland -1. Simple, low hanging fruit of the day. If Gossman's splitter is suddenly working, then good for him, and it'll be another loser. But I think that's it. I'm going back to the well with Cleveland.
What are your numbers on that one, sir?
I bet it. If you caught the overnight show and you bet it, you got -149. I'm going to be taking here with the current line -160 on the money line, and the run line part is +102. So that's about I guess like minus 125 or something like that.
Where are you finding that odds?
Okay, those are let me find quickly at Intertops. There's some good odds there at Intertops. Intertops has actually, let me check. Intertops, yeah, what the hell? Yeah. Actually, those lines are from Pinnacle. Intertops has slightly worse lines than that one, but those are the lines I'm using for the -1 line here. A lot of people talking about the Nationals shirts are -142 as an easy bet. Yes, Washington is one of the best teams in baseball on the road. They've been killing it. Scherzer obviously is the real deal, game in and game out. I do want to check for a 12 o'clock start like that. I want to check the lineups because there could be some lineup surprises in there. But Washington -1 may well be a great and obvious play today. I'm gonna hold off on that one for now. Straley can be good. Obviously not as reliably great as Scherzer, but can still be great. And yeah, here's a comment from Jim Bean: Washington benching players. That may be. All right, this guy Mike Heap is a total moron. I'm going to bury Mike Heap here. He says, "Why don't you look at 5 Dimes live lines? They actually have a -1 line instead of you making some fake lines up. Indians -1 is -140, not -1." Right, Mike Heap, you're a moron. Okay, the -1 lines are not fake. What I do is I bet the same amount to win on the run line as on the money line as I bet to risk on the run line. Now I understand that involves math, which is probably more than you are capable of intellectually, but they're not fake lines. The other reason that I do that is because you actually get better odds when you do that than if you take the -1 lines that books offer. And of course, getting better lines is paramount to doing well in sports betting, which is something that might be beyond my personal capabilities. But that's why I do it. The point is, these are not fake lines at all. They're absolutely lines that exist, and that's the way I do my -1 lines. I just calculate afterwards what the odds are. You can calculate it easily if you can do a little bit of math, which might be beyond what you can do, Mikey. But yeah, so you bet.
In that same vein about books and stuff like that, we get a lot of questions about guys who ask us how many books you should have. Right? I'm curious as to just pull the viewing audience here. Is how many do you guys usually rock with? You know, I think 3 to 5 is good just for. I'm pretty casual.
Okay, again, Mike Heap says, yeah, but no book offers the line you take. All right, Mike Heap, here we go. Cleveland is the -1 is the low hanging fruit of the day. The money line part of that is at Pinnacle -160. Yes, Pinnacle does offer that line. It is up right now, and the run line part of that is +102. Yes, that is at Pinnacle. Pinnacle does offer that right now. Yes. Pinnacle offers the lines that I just quoted, all right? -160 on the money line part and +102 on the run line part. I will calculate that. Actually, I can calculate that right now, actually. What we do is we do 260 divided by 202, and you get -129. So there you go. Cleveland -1, -129 is the low-hanging fruit of the day, and that is, in fact, the line that you get if you bet the same amount to win at -160 as you bet to risk on +102. That's how you do it. Now, of course, if you want to take a worse line, of course, you can go to 5 Dimes or any of the other places that offer you a -1 line that where you can buy it, and you can do that if you want. But I prefer to take the best lines that I can get, and that is the line right there. I create my own -1 lines to get better odds and to be able to line shop at different books. That's why I do it. Sorry, Mike Heap. Sorry, Mike Heap. Mike Heap, you can't do math. Yeah, Mike Heap, I just did math. Mike Heap, I just did it. I just did math. The -1 line for Cleveland at those lines would be -129. All right, let's get back to the show here. That's it. Listen, I may suck at baseball handicapping and handicapping in general, but I can do a little math. I can pull a couple math solutions out my ass once in a while. That's for damn sure. All right, let's see. AC says, please don't waste too much time responding to complete idiots. Okay, all right, okay, all right. Okay, all right.
Really kind of just good life advice.
Yeah, good life advice there. All right, so, okay, you're right. Mike Heap is right. One final word to Mike Heap. You're right, I can't do math. The lines are fake. So, don't watch the show, Mike Heap. What do you want me to say? Don't watch the show, you know?
Yeah, gamble.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's review the card here. I'm going to go down every game now. Washington might be a good bet with Scherzer, although you have to check who's in the lineup with a 12 o'clock game like that. And there have been some comments suggesting that Washington is sitting some people. I'm going to stay off that one. Cincinnati, Tampa Bay. Adelman against Ramirez, two very hittable starters, and I did take a shot with that on the over. I did bet over 9 on the overnight line. That may also prove to be a good bet. Again, you have to check to see who's in the lineup for both these teams at a 12 o'clock start. Boston, I wound up giving the Boston team total over 5 as an official pick, and the over 9.5 as an official pick as well. San Diego Cubs is interesting. Diaz is terrible for San Diego. Butler is not much better himself. And once again, the Cubs might be a good bet on the run line at -1 or -1.5. Just because of their lineup edge here. St. Louis and Philly is a tricky game. Pivetta, I looked into Pivetta a little bit more, and Pivetta might actually start to be a little bit. Pivetta might be for real, you know. He can hit the upper 90s. He's regularly hitting the mid 90s with his fastball, and he's sort of improved. Some of his minor league numbers suggest that he might not be able to handle major league pitches, but he has been improving recently. So Pivetta might be a guy to watch out for. I'm not exactly sure I want to bet against him, so that's a pass for me. Cleveland and Baltimore. Cleveland at my fake line of -129 is the low-hanging fruit of the day, -1, and I also took the over 9.5 in that one. The Yankees -1 is a lean. It's just that at -200, I'm not gonna include it. But it's just too high. I did bet it at -170. The opening line show did circle that game as a line that was likely to move, and it has definitely now moved. San Francisco and Atlanta. Samardzija against Newcomb. Some people not liking Samardzija. Newcomb has some nasty stuff that can be good. A youngster who's inconsistent, but when he's on, he's very on. Toronto and Texas is also another interesting one. I was thinking about the over in that one. Ross, of course, is starting for Texas, and his rehab starts were not good. His first start back in the majors was okay, but his velocity is down a little bit, and I'm not a buyer on him going forward. You can easily see Toronto hitting him here early. Maybe Toronto on the first 5, or actually the first 5 innings over might be worth a shot as well. That's 6. Wow, these books are really onto where these lines should be. Let me just quickly check the Toronto team total over, which I'm guessing is 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 plus 101. Again, in general, though, I'm not a buyer on Ross. His rehab starts were not good. His first start in the majors was okay, but there were signs that he's going to get hit going forward. So I'm going to have to think about what I want to do. I might revisit that. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee, the over 9.5 is an official pick. Berrios game with Minnesota. Again, Berrios is great. I would maybe lean White Sox second half on that one, and I can understand why someone might take Minnesota at even at such a big line, but I'm not going to do that. Arizona, Colorado, that's a tough one. We don't know what the humidor situation is going to be. In general, Taijuan Walker seems very vulnerable to me. I'm going to pass on that one. Houston and Oakland, again, Houston might just be an auto play, especially on the road until further notice. Manaea is excellent for Oakland. He's been getting a lot of swing and strikes. A guy who, Fires has also seen a resurgence recently. So I would lean Houston there again, but I'm not too excited about it because of how good Manaea has been. The Dodgers-Mets game had no overnight line, but Rich Hill is slated to start, and we all know how I am not a buyer on Rich Hill. I've had some success, so keep that in mind. I've definitely predicted troubles for Rich Hill going forward. And so far, that has been the case, and I definitely expect that to continue until he goes on the DL or something happens. And then Seattle-Detroit, Verlander at Paxton. Seattle is -1 is a play, and the over 8.5 on that one is also a play. So once again, a lot of plays here today, and low-hanging fruit, again, with the fake line.
The made-up line.
Cleveland -129. Doesn't exist,
It's
but I don't give
-130.
Right.
It's -130, Peter. You want to fucking do maths.
I don't give a. No, you know what? Oh, you don't want to accuse me of making a fake line, so I'll start making a fake lines. I am on the Yankees plus 110 today as my best bet of the day.
And I'm taking the over 3.5 in that game.
Yes, best bet of the day: Angels Yankees over 3.5. Go to the bank with that one. All right, let's see. All right, I guess let's just wrap it up. It was a pretty. You know.
It's been a weird one today. It's been a weird
These
one
comments,
today.
Loose cunt. Look at the support we get. Loose cunt says, Mike Keep, go sniff little boys' bicycle seats. Damn. Loose cunt keeps it really real. You know what I'm saying? He does not. He's a raw. Loose cunt is a raw commenter. There we go. Go sniff little boys' bicycles. Nasty as hell. Loose cunt. One of my favorite commenters. Probably the second best commenter after of course the best, the number one. Wang Joe. All right, so Toy Review says, give us a WNBA pistol. We all know you lesbian basketball. Yeah, actually, yes, there is a game today at 1 o'clock, and I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit deeper. But it's the Dallas against San Antonio, and it's a surprisingly low total for a Dallas game, right? It's in the 160s, mid 160s. I've had some success in the WNBA this year, taking overs with them in general. So I'm gonna look into that. I don't have a pick right now, but I did see an opening line in the mid 160s. I'm not sure why that line would be as low as it is. San Antonio had a terrible time scoring in their last game, but all their top players are in, and they should be okay. They played once this year, and the game went to 176, which is what I would expect. So there might be some value today with the over in that one if the line is in fact in the 160s. I'm going to look into that, and it starts at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to look into that right after this game. All right, let's.
Yeah, College World Series. Anything? Yeah.
No, I don't follow the College World Series, although it's definitely
Exists.
Yeah, it's definitely. Mikey, just don't watch the show. He says, give out 20-cent better lines than you can find on the market, and you're still down 10 units. Yes, I'm down. Oh, I'm down. That's not I am having a shitty day, a shitty year, but I do not get all the lines that I give. Not only are they available, I quote the exact books where they're available. But for some reason, Mike Keep just can't stop watching the show. He's addicted. Mike Keep is addicted to my face and my voice and my opinion.
And your fake news lines.
He's one of these guys who's like, you suck, you're dishonest, blah, 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 blah. When's your next show? When can I catch you next? yeah. Mike Keep, relax. I'm going to have a show tomorrow morning. I'm going to do more videos today. Just chill. All right. So let's just finish things up here. Let's wrap this show up. It's been kind of a crazy, chaotic show. I do have some nervous energy but again, Mike Keep, you damn right. He's like you take the best lines that you can find, and you're still down 10 plus units on the year. And that is, unfortunately, true. That is absolutely true. Unfortunately, I have to give that to Mike Keep. He is correct. My overall record on the year is a little embarrassing. So hopefully we can fix things today. I don't know. Let's just see.
Does Mike give a pick for us?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Hey, Mike Keep. Hey. Asshole! Hit us with a pick. Let's see how good you are, pal. Hit us with a pick, Mike Keep. It ain't the easiest thing in the world to give your picks in public and track them and put graphics up of your record, whatever it might be. So let's see if you got a pick for us, Mike Keep. Just post it, baby. Post your pick. Yeah,
hey, you could still join our bet contest. There's still plenty of time left.
You can join the contest, Bet Points contest.
SBRcontests.com.
SBR contest. Mike Keep, hit us with a couple picks, baby. We'd love to know. And I'm sure he probably is a good handicapper. I'm sure he is a good handicapper. It's just that one of the important. No matter how good or bad of a handicapper you are,
Mike says he's on Astros run line.
Okay, good. That's probably, I mean, that might be an automatic, play on until further notice. But whether you're a good handicapper or bad handicapper or just in the middle, line shopping and using the best lines that you can get is a no-brainer thing to do. And that is what I do in my personal betting and when I quote these lines here. All right, so it's been a good show. Let's just review the picks once again. Seattle -1, Seattle Detroit over at 8.5 are both picks. Let me see. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee over 9.5 is a pick. Toronto and Texas, I really want to fade Ross here. I do want to fade Ross here. What should I take? Should I take Toronto? Toronto on the first 5 innings. Should I take the over? what should I do here? I guess what I'll do is I'll make the over on that game a lean, and I'll also make Toronto on the first 5. No, I'll take the Toronto team total over as a lean as well. 2 leans, not official picks. The over on that game and the Toronto team total over as a lean as well. Yankees -1 is a lean, but the line has just gotten bet up too high. Cleveland -1, low hanging fruit of the day, and the over 9.5 in that game is an official pick. Boston team total over is an official pick, and the over 9.5 in that game is an official pick. And that's about it. That wraps it up for the day. All right,
Rich. Yeah, you sent us a screen test over.
Who?
Rich Banks wants to be on one of the shows.
Oh, sure.
Screen test us.
Yeah,
and Jim Bean. I don't know. I'll figure out how to get a hold of you. If you can send me. Yeah, if you can DM us on Twitter, that'd be cool. Or just post your email address if that is. Not everybody has Twitter these days. You should, because it's really cool, guys.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
All right. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday.
Professor Loshak breaking down the maths.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.